Katie here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I am up today with a DT layer for Confessions of a Paper Addict. And I have a bit of a fun video today. I am making a page for my 2020 December daily album. I am using the Cocoa Vanilla Studio Merry and Bright collection, which they released this year. And for my cut file, I will be using the cut file called Build a Wreath. Now, this is from last year's cut file release. So it was from the 2019 Christmas release. And Virginia is releasing a lot of new cut files this month. But I just really wanted to use this one from 2019. So I am. Now, first off, I have got some cardboard. Now, this cardboard, which you can see on the left-hand side of the screen there, is actually... it came inside a packet of, I think they're Stampin' Up! 6x8 page protectors, but I don't remember. And I held on to the cardboard because it's a really good size to use in my December daily album, and it's very sturdy, and it sits nicely in the album, and it doesn't get like pulled around or anything like that. I find sometimes with the things that are sort of out of the pocket, they can very much, lose their, or like get ripped and things like that. So I love repurposing the cardboard that came in those Stampin' Up! Page protectors. Now, I haven't bought Stampin' Up! Page protectors in a really long time, so I've had this around for quite some time. So I just used the cardboard piece and kind of laid it over top of my pattern papers that I chose, and then I'm just going to glue them down with wet glue. Look, it's not perfect. It hangs over the edge a little bit. I probably need to trim it, but it's really hard to trim things once you've stuck them on cardboard this thick. So I'm just rolling with it. We're just letting it go. But you can see I'm using my art glitter glue to stick this all down. I'm putting a decent amount on because I don't want it to peel up. I want it to be permanent. So I'm sticking that down. The good thing about wet glue obviously is you've got a bit of wiggle room. You can make sure it all kind of adheres nicely. And then I'm going to stick I go with not the Christmas tree print. I go with the, I don't know what the other design is. It's like a darker green with sort of star asterisks technically, but I guess they're supposed to be stars. So I go with that side, and I'm glad I did because I like, it's kind of, I can do something on that side. Maybe I'll put a photo or I'll create it into one of my days in my December daily. I'm not 100% sure yet, but my intention for this page was really just, not just a filler page, but it will probably go towards the start of my album. As a bit of a, some interest. And I'm just using this template that I'm using to punch the holes out is just one of the pieces of paper, the 6x8 paper that came in the Simple Stories Snap album that I'm using. So it's a little bit bigger than 6x8, and I used that as the template to punch my holes so that, it would be in the perfect place. Now, you can see here for the the Build a Wreath cut file, you get 4 different size branches, I think. And I have cut them out using 2 different colours of pattern paper. Now, I picked these 2 pattern papers because coloured cardstock, because it was the closest I had to the colours in the Cocoa Vanilla Merry and Bright collection. It's a more greener green. Is that even a good descriptive term? Than the green that is in the collection. But it's close enough. It's not perfect. It's close enough. I worked with what I had. I didn't buy anything new. And I just used up some of the paper that I had. And then I've got a light blue colour that matches quite nicely with the collection. Not a traditional wreath colour, sure. But I think it works well, actually. And look, to be honest, I could have gone with 2 different shades of green, which I had in coloured cardstock, but I didn't. I liked the light blue element kind of. Once I think it sits in, in amongst the album in its entirety, it will look cool, I think. Now, I do have, if you haven't already noticed, the Tim Holtz Mixed Media Glass Matte. I can't remember that's full title. I actually found it in my local scrapbooking store and I purchased it for myself for Christmas. Actually intended for my partner to give it to me for Christmas, but we've decided to get each other Ugg boots for Christmas because we need those too, even though it's summer. And so I just then gave this to myself as a, Merry Christmas to me present. So this is kind of the first time I'm really using it. I'm sorry that you can see the lights above my workstation. I don't think there's anything I can do about that, but let me know if it annoys you, and if it does, then I'll kind of play around a little bit more. But I suspect I'm going to have trouble stopping that from happening, that glare, because obviously the mat is glass. So yeah, but the good thing is I can put a little dab of glue like I'm doing here, and then I'm just dipping the end of the leaves into it, or the boughs, and then I'm kind of just layering them around. So you can see me there adding more glue. And then, yeah, I'm just kind of trying to, spread out the colours and create a lot of foliage, have it all kind of lifting off the page. Down the bottom, I am going to put a ribbon bow. So I'm sort of leaving that area flat. And I'm really happy with how this is all coming together. Sorry, you can hear my cat. He's messing around behind me. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. I think it just looks cool. I know it probably doesn't look like a hell of a lot now, while I'm kind of sticking down all these bits. It kind of does look like a little bit of a hot mess, but I think the ribbon really ties it all together and obviously makes it very obvious that it's a wreath. But I just think it's cute. And yes, it's fiddly. And yes, it took time. I think this took me about half an hour, I'll be honest. I haven't edited any of this process out. I've just sped my video up. So, I've left everything in that I did. But I think it's cute. You could totally use this as, a day in your album with photos and things like that. You could definitely add photos to this. It'd be super cute with the photo like in the middle, and you could build a wreath around the photo. That would be cute. But obviously I'm making this, I technically actually made this video, I think on like the 30th of November. So I didn't have any photos yet for my December daily. And unlike Danny, who's also on our DT, I scrap, the same year that I'm in. So I am scrapping 2020, and I haven't had any memories to document yet. I am doing a slightly different take on December daily this year for me personally. In the past, I have always done a literal December daily, like what I've done each day of December. Not always Christmas related, but done it like a PL mini album really, and just made it entirely Christmas themed in terms of the the ephemera and the embellishments that I've used and the collections that I've used, but not all the stories are Christmas related. This year I'm changing it up a bit, and thanks 2020, but I've decided I'm going to document 31 Christmas memories. So, I might do multiple things in one day. I might document some sort of things in the past, or I don't know yet, but I'm going to focus on stories, similar to what Ellie Edwards does, really. But yeah, I have decided that this year will be about stories, about Christmas and things focused on Christmas. And hopefully I have 31, but you know what? If I don't, it's totally fine. I will just scrap however many Christmas memories that I have. And yeah, we're just going to go with that. And I love this project. It's one of my favourite projects of the year, so I didn't want to miss it. And to be honest, here in Australia, we've definitely, Christmas is going to be not normal per se, but our restrictions have eased enough to allow us to have family and gatherings for Christmas. We have limits on numbers and things like that, but it's mostly going to be workable for most people to be able to see their family. I think all of the borders are opening up across Australia, so all of the states are opening up, so people will be able to visit relatives and friends, and we will still be able to celebrate. So we are very fortunate, and I'm conscious that not everywhere around the world is as lucky as we are in that regard in terms of Christmas. So, there's certainly things that are different, and I will be trying to capture some of that in this album, but I'm going to be focusing on our Christmas stories, and there'll be some fun ones. I do have a reason why, or my intentions type page, which again Ellie Edwards does, and I decided that for this year, for 2020, I think I will do a reason why in my album, because I think that will be a nice sort of start to the album to frame it a little bit more about my stories. So here we go. I pulled out this really nice I don't know what kind of ribbon. I'm not a real crafter. What kind of ribbon is this? Is it gossamer? Is that a word? Anyway, it's lovely ribbon. And so I decided it would make a really nice, bow for my wreath. I'm actually pretty sure this came off a Christmas present last year and I've just kept it in my stash. It's certainly not a whole roll of ribbon. This was all that I had, and I just thought it would look really good. I tossed up with putting it up the top, but really when you have a wreath, you don't have ribbon at the top, do you? A bow at the top. So I kept it on the bottom and I have just put a little glue dot on the back and stuck that down. I hope it stays. So far so good, but if it doesn't, I'll add a bit of wet glue. And I'm just trimming little, the ends. What do you call? Oh, flags? Is that? I don't know. Anyway, I'm trimming the ends of my bow. It's a late night, guys, when I'm doing this voiceover. It's been a long week or so. I didn't actually think I was going to get this video up in time for my DT project. We've had a lot going on, but we're back on track. So yeah, we're good to go. Now, I decided I wanted to add some form of decoration sort of concept to my wreath, and in the end I pull out my Nouveau drops. So I pulled out a few different colours. I should pull them out so I can tell you what colours they are. I have got, let's have a look. I used, I don't think I used there was a few that I pulled out that I didn't actually use. So let me just see here. I didn't use the green. I used the red. Alright, so I think I used 3 colours. I used a red, which is called Autumn Red, and it's a crystal drop. They're all crystal drops actually. I used a colour called Neptune, and then I used Antique Rose. Now, Antique Rose was giving me some trouble, and I have to fiddle around with it a fair bit. In fact, I need to get a pin out and try and clear the nozzle. But yeah, they're the 3 colours that I used, and I'm adding sort of berries type concept to the wreath, and I think it's super cute. It's probably a bit hard to see. You know what? I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you. This is editing me coming in. I'm going to zoom in a bit for you so you can get a closer look. Okay, so by the power of editing, I've totally zoomed in for you. And so now you can see a little bit more detail how I'm adding those Nouveau drops onto my wreath. And so I've got the 3 colours. Oh, now I'm fiddling with the Antique Rose. Sorry, the Antique Rose was a little bit blocked. I need to get a pin out. It managed to work fine for this, but definitely for future, I need to get a pin out and clear the nozzle. But I didn't have one handy, so I'm fiddling around off camera, but it gives you a nice little, close-up look at the wreath. And you can see I've added the red, and I've actually added the Neptune colour as well, which is a really lovely, it's like a shimmery blue, which I guess is, implied in the name Neptune. But it's like an ice, I'd say it's like an ice blue. Is that a good descriptive term? But they're really lovely. It's got a really nice shimmer. So the red is like a matte finish, whereas I would say the Antique Rose and the Neptune have a shimmer to them, and so they look lovely. I'm really a big fan of Nouveau drops. Look at this. Wow, it's taking me a really long time to clean out the Antique Rose nozzle, isn't it? Here we go. Hopefully I'm doing something exciting for you all to see since I zoomed in and all. So let me tell you, I haven't said to you anything yet about the Confessions of a Paper Addict Cutfile Facebook group. You definitely need to come and join us. So Virginia has released or is releasing Cutfiles for the first 6 days of December, but she has 4 free Christmas Cutfiles as well as a free regular Cutfile. So you should definitely come and hang out in the group, because why not? Free Christmas Cutfiles, who doesn't want those? So that will be linked in the description box down below, as well as a direct link to this Cutfile and to the Confessions of Paper Addict Etsy shop. So definitely go and check it out. I think Virginia is releasing 60 Christmas Cutfiles this month, plus the 4 freebies. 64 Christmas Cutfiles. And if you are in a part of the world that does not have snow, you definitely need to check these ones out, because there are some sneaky summer themed Christmas Cutfiles, which, as someone who lives in a country that has a summer Christmas, you definitely want to check those out. So again, everything will be linked down below, but definitely come and hang out with us, because we'd love to see you. I'm pretty sure I've finished. So I've added 3 different colours of Nouveau drops. They are a bit difficult to see, but you'll be able to see them in the close-up coming soon. Oh, am I adding a last one? Oh no, the best bit. I'm adding white Liquitex ink just to some splatters because, look, I've just talked about having a summer Christmas, but I kind of thought the white ink splatters would sort of mimic snow a little bit and sort of fit with the theme. And I just thought it needed something else, just on the page, something else to make it, a bit less flat. I know that sounds weird because all of the little individual cut file leaves or boughs are, they pop up, but definitely it just needed the splatters for a little something. So here is my close-up photo, so you can see the Nouveau drops in much clearer detail in this image. Thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you. I hope you're enjoying our Christmas Advent Calendar series, so definitely go and check out the rest of the videos on our channel, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks guys, bye!